All right, so we're going to start with the central flower here, the oval. And this is going to be made up of carbon black, burnt sienna, whoops, stuck my finger in the paint, red earth, and vermilion. All right, so I'm using my number 4 brush. Oops, helps if I go into the right color. And we're going to start, let me do it this way. We're going to just start putting that paint in there. I'm going to lay it in this way just to bring it up. And thin, thick, thin to pull around. I really don't need medium in this. I just want to make sure this is in nice and thick. I'm going to wipe some of the brush out of my paint. Tip into the burnt sienna. Blend over the line between the two. I'm going to blend them together. And notice I'm keeping this kind of oblong shape, this clamshell shape. We're going to just work our way up and back down. I'm going to wipe a little out. I'm going to go back into my burnt sienna, come up a little higher. And we're just going to blend this together and bring it back down. Okay. All right, wipe my brush out again. Go into the red earth. I'm going to go up higher this time. Okay. Again, I'm just going to get this nice clamshell effect. So I literally have my brush at a point. That's the nice thing with this round. I'm going to start down here. I'm going to pull up and back down. Pull it up and back down. Get the color up there and then wipe a little of the paint out because I want to blend back down again. Okay. I don't want to lose all the darkness here, but we will do a second coat on this. Now, tip into the vermilion, and I'm about halfway up where I'm going to just do with the point of the round brush, which sounds weird, point of the round brush. All right, but I'm going to come up and back down. I didn't have enough paint on my brush. So let's do that again. And back down. And we're just going to work this around here. I might need to add a little more red earth into it. Now remember, this isn't an exact science. Everybody's is going to come a little different. And, you know, the more you practice these different techniques, the more you're able to get the effect you want. All right. So we're going to let that dry. I'm going to wipe out my brush. And then I'm going to go look at these petals up here. These petals, I'm going to start with raw sienna. And I'm going to just start putting my paint in an undercoat in raw sienna. Okay. So let's get this in there. And I'm just following my lines with this, kind of even out. Let's go here. I'll even out my brush strokes a little bit, let them dry a little bit. Okay, keep putting them out this way. And let's bring it up to the top. Okay. Just even it all out. Oh, let me have a sip of my coffee. All right, and we're just going to work our way around here. And then since we're working on this whole flower here, and these 3 petals are also yellow, we're going to base those in as well, undercoat those, okay? This way everything will kind of dry together. Okay. Alright, let's work this way around. Okay, and notice I'm still turning I'm trying to turn it so that I'm pulling the brush strokes towards me. That's still the easiest way for me to work. Like this. Now when you're working on any of these flowers, by all means, stop the video, rewind the video, whatever you need to do to kind of help you with this. Alright, I'm not worried if I'm not totally within the lines. It's okay, because remember, we're going to do an overstroke with this with more raw sienna and white, warm white, and also we'll have detail. So I'm not worried about having every little spot filled in perfectly right now. Alright, so now on the sides, we've got 3 strokes of yellow, and I typically like to pull it towards me, so it's still raw sienna. So I'm just going to pull these down to the sepal. And remember, these are your undercoats here, or is that what I called them? I think I called them the undercoats. So I'm just going to pull them down. And so same idea, I'm flattening my brush down, I'm pulling it up, and I'm getting it down to a point because you want the top of the petal to be thicker and the bottom of the petal to be thinner, just like what you see in nature. Because when you look at the petals of flowers, the outer petals are they're thinner towards the sepal and wider out towards the sun. How's that? Reaching towards the sun. Alright, let's get this side in. Pull that in there. Oops, helps if I do as I say. There we go. Let's get these guys in there. Okay. Alright. So now, since we're waiting, we want these to dry before we really do our next steps here. What we're going to do is actually look at this first red scroll. Alright, so I'm going to change brushes, because again, this scroll needs to have an undercoat on it. Okay, so let's turn it towards me, and I am going to go into my red earth. Now you can also undercoat in burnt sienna if you'd like. So I like to start at the top and come down, or you can go from the sepal, and go out. Now if you're not sure where it's going, you can dot some red into the basic scroll so you have an idea of where this is going, okay? So we're going to start up here. I'm going to push those bristles down to get them as wide as I can. Then I come up. Remember, we were talking about the airplane. Okay, and sometimes you have to come back. I'm going to get the bristles down, push them down, pull them around. I'm just going to follow along here, and it's okay if you have to do a little stutter step there, because remember, this is opaque. You're going to do the undercoat, you're going to come back, so it's more forgiving than a transparent telemark design. Okay, and I'm not worried about this being so perfect down here, because we will be coming back to that. Alright, I'm just going to make sure I get the lines here. Alright, now again, I said that you could come in the opposite direction. So if this is more comfortable for you, you can go, whoops, that's okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I can go thin to thick, okay, and around. Now I do have a little sister stroke in here, which is right here, so we're going to get that in there. Okay, remember I push the bristles down and come up. And then I also have these 2 bumps off the back. So let's start down here. I'm starting thin. I'm going to push it down and up. And I'm going to push it down and up. There we go. I'm just going to pull that around. And of course we're going to let that dry. Okay. So let's see how long this one is. Hello, my friends. Okay, 10 minutes. I'm going to stop this one here.